So, ladies and gentlemen, let me welcome you at the International Colloquium in the frame of our research project. The name of the research project is The Misuse of Religion in Post-Communist Countries and Building Resilience. The program of today will be fusing or confusing religion and politics, exploring historical cases and contemporary parallels. And I would like to invite Professor Tomáš Halík to open this session.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming. Welcome to the Benedictine Emmaus Monastery, historical monastery in Prague. Majority of you know this building. This is now the seat of the Czech Christian Academy. And as was mentioned, our today's conference is part of the international and interdisciplinary project about misuse of religion, political misuse of religion. And we would like also to think about the possibility of building resilience against this danger, which is an important part of our contemporary society, our contemporary world. To understand the contemporary situation, we should reflect also the historical parts. So, religion is not a private affair, it's always part of the public life, interconnected with another elements of the public life, and especially with politics. And the relation between religion and politics is changing during the history under the changing circumstances, the cultural context, and we can also theologically think at the very beginning, in the biblical time, there is in the Bible, in the Hebrew Bible already, some sort of desacralization of politics. In Exodus, we can see sort of civil disobedience, some desacralization of this sacred concept of political power of Pharaoh, and also the prophetical critics of the political power is part of the biblical tradition and part also of the Christian history. Today we reflect especially this interconnection between politics and religion, politics and nationalism in the 20th century. Perhaps there are a lot of hypotheses. My private hypothesis is that perhaps the roots of this political nationalism is also in the Enlightenment. That in the Enlightenment time, especially in the 19th century, many priests were uncertain about the faith, about the tradition, and some of them, for some of them, the nationalism became the religion. They have the pastoral task to work for the nation, and especially in the Slavic nations, the priests were the proponents of nationalism, and I think it has the political consequences. Another question, another problem topic is the affinity of a certain sort of religion and church toward the authoritarian systems. We should ask, what are the roots of this phenomenon? Perhaps there are the psychological reasons. Gordon Allport has shown these two types of religiosity, extrinsic and intrinsic, and extrinsic religiosity used religion as an instrument for something other. So maybe this type of religiosity is always tending to some authoritarian attitudes and have some affinity to authoritarian systems. We have seen it in past, in the 30s, in many countries of Europe, and we see this phenomenon also today. The special case is Russia, and I'm very happy that we have the expert for this situation in Russia, which is, as we all know, very dangerous now. If there is, if it is connected with the old Byzantine tradition of Caesar papism, or if there is something new in this coalition between the Orthodox Church and the Putin's regime, and if there are some great differences between this Russian situation and the situation of in Western and in Central Europe. So there are a lot of questions. So today we would like to explore this, some historical cases, some case studies, and then we will go further to think about the language used by this politically misused religion. The media, how they are influence the public sphere, and so on. And the end of our project should be some advices, some impulses, some inspirations, how to build resilience toward this great danger. Because I think the secular society underestimated the power of religion, the power of religious symbols. And sometimes in the societies when the traditional religion collapsed, then some secular phenomenon started to play the religious role. And also if the politics is saturated by the religious energy, and perhaps, for example, some political rhetorics is fulfilled by these religious symbols. So the enemy is not just an enemy, but a great Satan, and so on. The demonization of political enemies, and also, on the other part, the sacralization of a party, of a leader, and so on. So this pseudo-religious role of politics is also part of this problem. So there are a lot of questions, there are a lot of hypotheses, there are a lot of ideas, there are now a lot of theories also in the public space, and so we decided to focus on this post-communist part of our work, which is very visible. These attempts to misuse the energy of politics and the power of political concept, political symbols, religious symbols in the politics. So this is perhaps our ideas at the beginning, the reason why we have chosen this topic. And once again, I welcome you all, and we are looking forward for this day. I wish you a very fruitful day. Thank you.